Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to your channel Talent TV. You know Talent TV is dedicated for business idea and business development along with internal growth and education. You know ongoing series is related with innovation in transportation. Let's start our discussion.
Movements of goods, animal and persons from one geographical location to another geographical location is called transportation. Transportation is often termed with communication and logistics. Transportation is movement of goods, animals and people, and communication is movement of information and data. Whenever goods move from one geographical location to another geographical location, it carries information and data related with goods. Hence, transportation and communication are complementary to each other. It's hard to draw a barrier. That transportation is often termed with logistics, supply chain and value chain. Let's clarify it first. Transforming a raw material into product and getting it to customer is supply chain. Logistics is a part of supply chain. Movement of material in supply chain is logistics. Means to say production operation is not a part of logistics. Whereas material movement from one geographical location to another geographical location is termed as transportation. Means to say inventory, raw material management and warehousing of final goods is not part of a transportation. Logistics having 7 pillars of functioning. These are called 7 R's. These 7 R's are right product, right quantity, right condition, right place, right time, right customer and right price. These 7 R of logistics will be 7 pillars of transportation also. Instant relation. We can say transport is a car driver of supply chain and logistics car. Transportation is vital function in logistics function. Actually, transportation is the base of logistics. Selection of the most efficient combination different modes of transportation proves the value of logistics function, creates value for customer. Apart from transportation, logistics covers warehousing, 3PL and 4PL. Housing is the receiving, storing and shipping of material in supply chain movement, and movement is not required. 3PL, that means third party logistics, the combination of one or more part of logistics, whereas 4PL is specialized in one part of logistics, like transportation. Supply chain is a part of value chain. String of collaborating players who work together to satisfy market demands for a specific product or service is called value chain. Value chain identifies 9 strategically relevant activities that create value and cost in a specific business. These 9 value creating activities consist of 5 primary activities and 4 supporting activities. Under Michael Porter's value chain model, primary activities covers the sequence of bringing material into business inbound logistics, converting them to final products, that is operation, shipping out final products, that is outbound logistics, marketing them, that is marketing and sales, and servicing them to sales. Apart from these primary activities, secondary activities, that is support activities, are procurement, technology, human resource management and firm infrastructure. These secondary activities are handled in certain specialized departments as well as elsewhere. Several departments, for example, may do procurement and hiring. The firm infrastructure covers the cost of general management, planning, finance, accounting, legal and government affairs. Firm's task is to examine its cost and performance in each value chain activity and to look after for ways to improve it. Firm should estimate its competitors' cost and performance as benchmark against which compare its own cost and performance. Organization success depends not only on how well each department performs its work, but also on how well the various department activities are coordinated to conduct core business process. Hence, in company value chain, supply chain could be one of the best core competencies. In all of this business process, supply chain is value delivery network. Now it's clear that transportation is driver of supply chain. It's function of transport manager to select various mode of transportation in such a way that it could create value addition in value chain via value stream mapping. Transport managers should draw value stream mapping of existing transport system and what advanced system could be produced, different alteration and combination of different transportation mode. So let us focus on modes of transportation. There are mainly 3 modes of transportation. One is surface transportation, second one is water transportation and third one is air transportation. Surface transportation is again distributed into rail, road and pipeline transportation. Based on the geography of transportation system, it's divided into three parts: interstate transportation, inter-country transportation, and international transportation. Interstate transportation mode, origin as well as destination is inside a state and it's governed under state law. Inter-country transportation, where a state of origin and a state of destination are different, it's governed by country law. International transportation is performed outside the country barrier and it's governed by international law of transportation. For example, in India, for water transportation, land waterways along with 12 nautical miles from seashore is India property. This is called territorial zone. On territorial zone, up to 12 nautical miles, contiguous zone exists. In this zone, India is free to make rules and regulations for customs, taxation, immigration and pollution. To 200 nautical miles from seashore, exclusive economic zone exists, where fishing and offshore oil extraction activities could be done. But it comes under international law. Beyond that, completely governed by international maritime law. Government collects service tax in form of GST in each mode of transportation. The GST for road transportation, a new term GTA, Goods Transport Agency, is defined, treated as a person who provides service in relation to transport of goods by road and issues a consignment note by whatever name. Ancillary services such as loading, unloading, packaging, transshipment and temporary warehousing. These services are not provided as independent activities, then they will be covered under GTA. There are two classified rates in GTA. One is 5% without RCM, is 5% on which input credit cannot be availed. And second one is 12% with input rates credit. It's left on GTA to decide in which mode he is willing to operate. In case of rail transportation, 5% GST is imposed with input tax credit. That is, in comparison to road logistics, rail logistics could get input tax credit benefit in the 5% GST resign. Hence, rail will have more GST benefit. In case of water transportation, 5% GST on CIF has been imposed with the input tax credit benefit. Whereas air freight attracts a GST of 5, 12, 18 and 28% respectively for essential goods, standard goods, luxury item respectively. Shipping charges on goods imposed equivalent to GST value. That means if on any goods GST implication is of 5%, then shipping charge will be 5% also under GST. Each and every mode of transportation has its own merits and demerits. Let's start with road transportation. Road transportation case, entry is easy, flexibility is there, is suited for a small distance, needs a feeder to other modes of transportation. There is slow speed, avoided accidents and breakdowns, seasons, nature, organized functioning. Its demerit. Transportation with unquestionable dependability, organized, ability for bulky goods, long distance, cheaper cost, distinguishes itself from any other mode. Whereas use capital outlay, lack of flexibility, lack of door-to-door service providing, monopoly and not suited for small goods are its demerit. Water transportation by less maintenance cost, cheap and bulky transportation, responsibility for high foreign trade activities are suitable. The other hand, its slow speed, risky walking, inflexibility, very difficult tracking, its dependability on another mode of transportation are its demerit. Air transportation by high speed, quick service, EGSS, no physical barrier and natural route, comfortable selection for precious and high demanding goods, lightweight. The other hand, its very high cost, small carrying capacity, highly weather dependency, huge investment is barrier. So selection should be made on different modes of transportation depends on product demand, timing, cost evaluation and material weight and volume. Each mode of transportation could understand and adopt various ways that are followed by another mode of transportation successfully. For example, Indian Railway is one of the best organized sector. On the other hand, road is completely unorganized segment and 95% part is fragmented. So in order to establish a long business establishment, organized working, various excellence could be adopted from railways, like rotation of drivers, commercial working and excellence, adaptation of IT for booking, dynamic pricing, etc. One of road transporter Revigo adopted driver's rotation model of Indian Railways, successfully develops its core competency in that area. In the similar way, Indian Railway adopted dynamic pricing from air transportation. Railways should search options for long-term service contract, investment and load assurance for customized designed vehicles, fast decision making and tracking technology like GPRS from Roadways. Road transport segment demand and supply gap is very low. On the other hand, it is at higher side in some of the zone in Indian Railways. Demand and supply gap is more than 15 days also. The best synergy could be achieved when these segments are not competitive to each other but are supportive to each other. Services like roll-on and roll-off in Concon Railway is introduced by Indian Railways. Likewise, there are several areas where Ro-Ro operation SIP could be achieved in more better ways. Investments should not be made in mode of transportation just for the sake of creating infrastructure. It is first needed to be innovative and make improvisation in existing infrastructure. It will be successfully given telescopic benefit in case of container train operators, in which the hub and spoke model pricing has been charged 2 or 3 mid loading and unloading operations. Indian Railway has also introduced fixed time schedule for AFTO. That should be extended for milk and fruits like perishable products. Whenever we are going to extend an infrastructure, we should have to think over the competitive benefit that could be achieved by extension of that transport facilities. For example, following the Delhi Metro success, Noida Metro Rail started to extend its service, but it fails to compete with roads transportation. So, break-even period will be so much larger that competitive advantage could not be achieved. Development of any alternative system, value stream mapping is essential. Complete cost implication, effectiveness and revenue model. We will sure discuss in detail about possibility of improvement and improvisation in existing system and extended system in coming videos. For that time, lots of thanks for watching. Thank you.